I struggle to relate to today's music, so instead of complaining about it, I made my own. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I don't know about you, but I'm still feeling the love from my last video. I hope you guys were able to watch it and to carry those words of wisdom and advice with you throughout the week. And I really hope that it inspired you and made you feel eager to work on your craft. Whenever I feel inspired, I love to take that energy and create. So for me, that would mean songwriting. I always say I'm a writer first and I'm a singer second. Writing has gotten me through so many crazy times, whether they were good or bad. It's really my go-to, and it's the outlet that I need to sort of process my thoughts and emotions. So with that being said, for today's video, I really want to talk about some songwriting tips. Lyrics in a song mean so much to me. I love songs that tell a story, have meaning, and really just make me feel something. But don't get me wrong, I also really love those upbeat dance songs that really don't have much lyrics going on at all. But I do realize at the end of the day, I always gravitate to the songs that are deep and really speak to my heart. Songwriting comes really easy to me. And when I say really easy, I mean really easy. Like, I don't even have to be awake. So let me explain. At some point in my life, my body decided that it wants to be a sleep writer. So I'm not a sleepwalker, I'm a sleep writer. And there were so many times when I've woken up to find that I've written a song overnight. And of course, I always had to crack the code of whatever I was trying to say. But some of my best lines and my favorite songs came from when I was sleep writing. And yes, you are right, it is totally creepy. But I also think it's pretty cool too. Songwriting happens different for each artist. Some need to sit in a room, quiet, focused, and just shut out from the world. Others can write whenever, wherever. And then others just sit up in the middle of the night like a zombie, grab a pen, and just scribble down some words in the dark like a freak. Weirdos. And now I could talk about songwriting tips forever. So I'm going to try my best to just narrow it down to the very few tips that I think are the most important. So if you're a beginner writer or somebody who's been writing and maybe you just have some writer's block or need a little inspiration, I really hope that these tips can help you out. My number one tip for songwriting is to write every single day. If you write every single day, just like anything else, when you do it every single day, you can only get better and better. Even if it's just one line, just write down all your ideas. It doesn't even have to be a full thought or a full song. Just get it on paper and you could always play with it another time. One way that I've really helped myself with writing every day and staying consistent with it was taking categories of music, like music subjects, like there's love songs, there's revenge songs, there's inspirational songs, breakup songs, and I would separate those and I would keep them in a list in my phone or just on paper. And throughout my days and anytime I just got an idea or I got an inspirational lyric or just a cool rhyme, I would add that rhyme to one of those subjects. So if I'm driving one day and I just get this really inspirational quote in my head or a really cool lyric, I'll know to go into the section of inspirational songs on my list and I would add to that list. And what's really cool about that is every day you're thinking, every day you're getting ideas, and you have a place to write it down. And then when you're ready to work on an inspirational song or ready to work on a breakup song or a revenge song, you go back to this list and you have all this material that you've been saving. And the list keeps growing and growing, and it's just really cool to go back to that when you're ready to work on that type of song. Another songwriting tip that I think is important is to remember that you don't only have to write about your personal experiences. A lot of my songs came from listening to a friend, watching a movie, reading a book or a quote, or just watching somebody else and kind of putting myself in their shoes. And it's so great to listen and to watch others because you can really learn from other people and you can kind of take what you're hearing from them and put yourself in their perspective. I think with songwriting, it's just so fantastic because you get to be somebody else for a day. As a singer, you can sing about anything. You can sing about fantasies, you can sing about different roles are maybe like something that you would never personally do yourself, but it's something to sing about, and you could kind of play this character and play this new role. Our minds are so powerful and so creative. We could do anything with a song. And when you're creative and you use imagery in a song, it really can make it extra exciting and really cool for the listener. So I think being really descriptive in songs is also important. I mean, Taylor Swift does it to a T. You know, the songs that we listen to from her, you could almost see the lover's face, you can almost see what they're wearing, picture how the rain felt, picture how the lighting looked in the restaurant, because she's very detailed and descriptive. And I think that when you do that in music, you can really bring the listener to a whole nother place. Another great songwriting tip is to remember to be creative and not to be so blunt. Use metaphors in your music. Make it interesting, make it broad, make it something that people can, you know, you don't want your song to be, this is what the song is about and this is how you're supposed to feel when you listen to it. You don't really want to do that. You want a song to be very broad so that anybody can relate, anybody can connect to it. Make their own storyline out of something. You can definitely reach way more fans and way more people when you do that. I really like to use metaphors in my song. I don't think it's smart to ever overdo it, but it's definitely a great tool. A lot of my songs aren't about what you might think it's about. My song Won't Let You Go sounds a lot like a love song, doesn't it? Well, that song is actually about my music journey and my relationship with music. And when you use metaphors in your songs and symbolism, it can really set you up for a really cool music video. So a lot of the times when I'm writing, I like to think about how I want to portray this song in a music video. So I like to use symbolism. I like to make it creative. I really like when my music means something and kind of tells a story and makes you think at the same time. So branching off of that, you also really want to try your best to avoid some cliches and some of those boring lyrics that get very overused. Find creative and new ways to describe something. I think that's how you can get your song to stand out. It's a way to kind of get people more interested in listening, and it's not so boring and we've heard it before. Another tip that I think is really important when trying to write and understand yourself as an artist and a writer is to listen to all types of music. Listening to all varieties of music and really expanding your ear and just, you know, being open-minded to everything can really, really improve your writing skills. I listen to everything. I go from classical music to rap music to country music to pop, and I've realized that I really don't have a favorite genre. I can relate to any songs that have meaning and really make me feel something, and it really doesn't matter what the genre is. If the lyrics are good, I'm in. Another important tip is to remember not to just rely on yourself. It's really important to co-write and to work with producers and collaborate. There was a time in my life when I was very closed-minded and I was like, no, this is my song. Like, I don't want anyone to tell me what to do or like to change it. And I always got very like fixated and stuck on my ideas. And I think that that was really slowing me down in a way, because now, you know, when I became more open-minded and I worked with other writers, I just can't believe I worked any other way. When I worked with other writers, I really started to notice how, you know, their ideas would inspire me and they would spark a new idea in my mind. Or they would take the song to a whole nother level that I didn't even think about. And it's such an improvement in the song. So try not to be so closed-minded. Let others in, collaborate with people, work with a producer, work with co-writers, and you'll really find that it benefits you more than anything else. Another tip that I think is important is to not be afraid to scrap or abandon a song. You don't want to beat a dead horse. You don't want to make yourself feel burnt out and stressed and overwhelmed. If a song isn't working out, just let it go. It might come to you again in the future, and that's okay. And if not, it wasn't meant to be. There's a lot of times where I really just tried not to give up on a song, and I realized that it really stressed me out, and even if I did finish the song, it wasn't my favorite. There's a lot of songs that I forced, and a lot of songs that I forced to finish, and when I listen to them, I'm just like, ugh. It's always smart to walk away and to give your ear a break and to step away, let your mind travel, let your mind wander, because that can really spark some new ideas as well. You don't want to stay in that one song and make yourself go crazy over it. It's also really important to just be yourself. Write about the things that you love. Write about the stuff that inspires you and makes you feel excited. And the right people will come along and find it. I really hope you guys liked today's video. Music is so awesome and just writing is so amazing. And the words that could come out of our minds and our souls are so impressive. So don't give up. If you're struggling, it takes time. And like I said, write every single day. No one's perfect at anything the first time. If you guys have any concepts or topics that you would like me to get into, feel free to leave them in the comments section and I will definitely check them out. So thank you guys so much for joining me again, and I will see you next Tuesday.